To capture a man, you need steel, stone, and protocols. To keep him, you need to break his spirit. But throughout history, there have been men whose desire for freedom defied the laws of physics, geography, and probability. From the frozen forests of Nazi Germany to the deadly currents of San Francisco Bay, these are the escapes that should have been impossible. 1814, the Emperor of the French, Napoleon Bonaparte, is exiled to Elba. It was a prison disguised as a kingdom, a 12-mile rock patrolled by the British Royal Navy. Most prisoners dig tunnels. Napoleon's escape required dismantling the geopolitical order of Europe. He knew his captors were becoming complacent. On February 26, 1815, under the cover of a moonless night, he didn't sneak out alone. He took a small army. Boarding the brig Inconstant, disguised as a merchant vessel, he slipped right under the nose of the British cruisers. But the true test wasn't the sea. It was the land. Landing in France, he was intercepted at Lafri by the 5th Regiment. They were under strict orders from King Louis XVIII to shoot the usurper on sight. This was the moment of escape, not from a cell, but from certain death. Napoleon didn't run. He walked alone toward the line of muskets leveled at his chest. He opened his iconic gray overcoat and shouted, "If there is any man among you who would kill his emperor, here I am." No shots were fired. The soldiers wept and lowered their weapons. Napoleon had escaped exile simply by refusing to believe he was a prisoner. 130 years later, the challenge was no longer charisma. It was engineering. Stalag Luft III, a Luftwaffe camp designed specifically for escaped Allied airmen. The Germans built it on sandy subsoil that would collapse if dug, and placed seismographs around the perimeter to detect vibration. They believed it was escape-proof. But squadron leader Roger Bushell, known as Big X, orchestrated a logistical symphony involving 600 prisoners. They didn't dig one tunnel. They dug 3 simultaneously: Tom, Dick, and Harry. The engineering required was industrial. To prevent the sandy soil from collapsing, the prisoners needed shoring. They mined the camp itself. Over 4,000 wooden bed slats were stolen from prisoners' bunks. They built air pumps from scavenged powdered milk tins to push oxygen 30 feet down. On the moonless night of March 24, 1944, Harry was breached. But there was a catastrophic miscalculation. The tunnel fell short of the tree line. The escapees had to crawl out in plain view of the guard tower. 76 men made it out before the alarm sounded. It was a feat of brilliance, but the cost was devastating. Hitler, enraged by the audacity of the attempt, issued the Sagan Order. 50 of the recaptured officers were driven to desolate roadsides and executed by the Gestapo. The Great Escape was a moral victory, but a human tragedy. Some prisons rely on guards. Alcatraz relied on nature. The federal penitentiary sat on the rock, surrounded by freezing currents moving at 6 knots. To enter the water was considered a suicide attempt. But in 1962, Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers approached the prison as a mechanical puzzle. For months, they worked in 60-minute shifts during music hour to mask the noise. Their tools were pathetic: spoons stolen from the mess hall, sharpened into chisels, a drill improvised from a vacuum cleaner motor. To buy time, they created decoys. Using soap, toilet paper, and hair swept from the barbershop floor, they sculpted realistic dummy heads. On the night of June 11th, the guards patrolled past the cells, looking at the sleeping faces of men who were already gone. They climbed the plumbing pipes behind the cell block and reached the roof. But the piece de resistance was their transport. They had stolen 50 rubberized raincoats, vulcanizing the seams with contact cement to create a 6x14-foot inflatable raft and life vests. At 10 p.m., they launched into the pitch-black, freezing water of the bay. Did they make it? The FBI officially concluded they drowned. Yet, no bodies were ever recovered. A Norwegian freighter reported seeing a body floating in the water, but later, rumors of postcards sent to family members persisted. Napoleon regained an empire, if only for 100 days. The men of Stalag Luft III proved that the Allied spirit could not be caged, even if the cost was blood. And the men of Alcatraz? They left us with the ultimate ending, a question mark. Stone and steel can confine a body, but as history shows, human ingenuity is the one force that cannot be locked away.